Hi, I'm PhiDX, and I'm joined by Kwis.
Hello.
So, you were the highest placing Hwoarang main at CEO 2024, and even beat a fellow Hwoarang main, Rest. Do you think Hwoarang is as bad as the player base is saying?
I think he got hit in a weird way, especially considering that they even said in the patch notes he's not performing particularly well. I think there's a lot of Hwoarang players who have been downplaying for a long time because they don't perform with the characters themselves. Therefore, the character must be bad, not them, and the nerfs help to validate their feelings. But I think after playing him and also watching my game back in top 8, I think I can make him work. He's gonna struggle a bit now, but like the super doomy bottom 1 allegations are just not true.
I like the way that you seem to lean away from the down 3-4 since it is so risky now. I saw you playing a lot of down back 3, a lot of down back 4. It felt like you were navigating pretty well around it. It was looking pretty strong, especially in the rest set.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you're playing the best style of Hwoarang, or is it the best style that you can pilot? Do you think there is a best style of how to play that character?
I think there's something I'm missing right now. I don't know what it is. I'm going to watch all my games back and figure out what is there something I'm missing. The best style of Hwoarang right now is whatever Edge is doing. Edge is the best Hwoarang right now. I think undisputed. And I will continue to watch him until I figure out what I'm doing wrong.
That's a cool perspective to have. That was going to lead into my question is I've asked a bunch of players in these interviews, do you have a hero or somebody you wanted to play like? And AK said, no, I just want to play Tekken. And Keisuke said he had the guy who trains him and he has cooldowns. And it sounds like if you had to pick someone, is Edge that guy?
100%. I think the way he is playing the character right now, and he seems to not really be too bothered by the nerfs, I think that's definitely someone that I need to just pick up on what he's doing a bit more and then, put my own Kwis flair to it,
I like that. This is a loaded question because we talked about it. Are you looking at any other characters for tournament purposes?
Feng was my, towards the 7, he was the character I've really played, kind of a secondary. And I think he's strong in this game. I like playing him in this game. I've been playing a lot of Jin recently as well, because I played a lot of Jin in the demo, because it was one of the only characters.
Yeah.
And then when the game came out, I just kept playing the character, and I'm having fun with the character right now. Just got him to God of Destruction, and I want to start playing him in sets against high-level opponents to see what that works like. He might be a character I pull up for certain matchups. But when Lydia comes out,
Right.
that is secondary for 100% sure.
Yeah. She looks insane. It looks like they're doubling down on how explosive she is.
Yeah, I think she's going to be really ridiculous. I'm pretty sure in the trailer she did a power crush on block and was able to continue pressure in stance or something like that. Forward 2 looks like it armor breaks in heat. Heaven Earth looks like it has an auto parry. I just think she's going to be ridiculous. Looking at what they did to Eddie in this game and how he's all over the place and they flipped him. I'm excited to see what they've done to Lydia. And she was always a character that covered Hwoarang's bad matchups anyway. So hopefully she can do the same thing in this game.
I guess in A, what would you consider a bad matchup for Hwoarang? What makes it difficult to do what he wants to do?
So typically Hwoarang's always had a difficult time against the female characters and evasive characters. Like Lily, for example, she moves around everything. His tracking isn't fantastic.
Yeah.
And characters that can punish you very well, for small mistakes as well. And I think in this game now, a big problem is characters that can pressure Hwoarang a lot. I think Dragunov has been. I think he was a character that actually Hwoarang didn't do too bad against. But the power crush nerf hurts now because -12 to -14 is a huge jump in this game, especially against a character like Dragunov. Movement and pressure can really mess him up.
I think the -14 being launchable by throw is also that was an insane change to me.
Yeah. I think what they should have done is leave it -12, but you can throw punish.
Yeah.
So you can't do the launching throws, but you can still do a throw punish. And but I don't know, -14 feels harsh, especially in this game.
Even 13 would have been fine, I think.
Yeah.
But
that's still some heat engages for some characters, but 14 feels harsh.
Yeah. Oh my god.
13 from launcher. It's crazy.
Why do you think EU is consistently outplacing NA right now?
I'd say number one thing that I think I'm seeing right now is there are a lot more sponsored European players traveling compared to Americans. So me and Joker, for example, were going all over the place. Jod's been to a few places. Sephi and Tetsu, they've traveled. Compared to Americans, Joey's traveled a bit, Joe Crusher's traveled a bit, Ty's, but it's like not as much. And I think it's just we've had more opportunity to travel as well. You know, there was both the DreamHacks, Dallas and Sweden, so both sides had their DreamHacks. Like, yeah, I think that's been the main thing. I think Americans, the top players right now, haven't really shown out yet. I feel like eventually it's going to come. You know, Joey, Anakin, Shadow's been everywhere, and he's won a challenger event. But like, I feel like eventually Anakin, give him like a month, 2 months, I think he's going to be right back where he was.
That's a pretty gracious take. I was expecting something more spicy, but I would agree. I think I would agree. I also, I feel like the practice culture is so different. So I remember visiting the UK, and the connections were crazy everywhere throughout Europe. So it's definitely not just an online thing. Mm-hmm. But when I look at how Europeans interact, it feels like UK is super tight, Germany's super tight, right? No? I feel like there are pockets.
There are pockets of close players, you know, for example, myself, Joker, Gosain, Chicken Maru, There are pockets of like, you know, very, like, I think the German scene has a lot, like Sefi, Tetsu, those top players are very close. But I think you mentioned the practice culture. The one thing I have noticed is we can train online a lot more effectively.
You think so? Yeah.
You know, I think when I see like your American tournaments, I hear there's issues with people entering on like 3-4 bars, unstable PCs, and like you're playing coast to coast, and that's almost consistently a 4 bar. Like, I think for us, we get a lot more consistent like 5 bars. Connections aren't too bad, especially for like West Europe, where like most of West Europe is probably the stronger side of Europe, and it's like, you know, we can play Sefi, Tetsu, myself, Joker, etc. We can play, you know, with relatively no connection issues. But I think with America being, you know, so spread out geographically, you know, like East Coast to West Coast players, you know, I see Ty talking about having to play just Sandy. That can be a 3 bar sometimes. You know, I think, you know, I think that can also be an issue.
Yeah. Another gracious take. The comments are gonna have a hard time hating.
I'm nice today.
So, tell me how you train. Like, how much Tekken do you play per day? How much of it is like labbing your combos, your offense? How much of it is defense? How much of it is like study? Like, how do you split up your time?
I think ranked is quite, I don't want to say important in this game, but I think it's a good tool to use effectively, you know? Because again, now it being a first of 2 format forced, I think it sort of simulates the tournament culture a little bit as well. But also I think, you know, I think one thing's important now that I've started doing is whenever I have a question about any character and something that happens, I see something, I make sure to note it down, and the next time I go to the lab, I find out that answer, and it's noted and it's always there. You know, I always have the answer to that question always there, because I think I don't want to lose to something in tournament that was just due to a lack of knowledge, right? Because I didn't know, oh, what was this there? If I play someone, something happens, what was that? Replays. Oh, the replays in this game. People ask me all the time, what's the best way? Watch your damn replays.
Yeah.
Number one thing that you can do in this game. And a replay takeover is amazing. I wish like you could have like a replay code you could save from your tournament matches.
Yes.
Then go home and then you can have the replay takeover the replay. But like, yeah, number one thing is like replays.
Yeah, I think I was about to ask, like, my one thing I wish I could do replay takeover on is my tournament matches, and having a replay code sounds so fire. I know, and it is so important. Even someone like me who enjoys watching it, I remember after I lost at DreamHack Dallas, I thought my problem was an attacking problem, like I wasn't attacking enough. And then I spent the whole week trying to fix that. And then I actually watched the match, and I was attacking too much. I was getting counter hit. So I was like, you have to watch. You can't guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I normally, after a tournament, I have a match, I have a feeling of how that game went down. And then when I watch it back, it either affirms it or I'm like, damn, I was wrong.
I
actually did a lot better than I thought, or I did way worse than I thought.
Yeah, our feelings cannot always be the most reliable. You've mentioned the tools. How many hours roughly do you spend per day? If it's not the same, like average.
Well, typically I stream for like 5 hours a day or something. 3 to 5 hours would be the minimum. And then, you know, I use that as training as well. Like if I need some of the replays, I can learn from that. But outside of that, if it's like actual labbing, learning stuff, I think the max would be like 2 hours or something, right? Then sometimes there'll be like character work, like say I need training with a certain character, play against, I don't know, say I need some lore help, go say can you play for like an hour, get some stuff down. Like I think it's important to play, but also not too much, because Especially with how much traveling, you know, a lot of us have been doing, like the risk of burnout is there.
When it comes to watching either future opponents or watching Hwoarang players, how much time do you spend doing that?
That's something I need to do a lot more of. I feel
you.
like I've been playing this game way more than I've been watching it. And I think experience is king, but you need to like watch other players, especially watch your opponents that you're potentially playing, but also learn from other people as well, because that's how I started getting good at this game, was watching speed kicks, Edge, he was Muse back then, etc. And I need to make sure I keep that same fire and hunger moving forward.
Yeah, that's something I notice every time I watch something. I feel like I explode, but making myself watch is pretty tiring. Even AK was saying that he falls asleep sometimes watching stuff, so it might not just be us. Tell me 100% honest, no cuts, no edits, and I promise I won't be offended by your opinion. Tell me about your thoughts watching my CEO run in 2023.
Oh my God. You know what? This to me is actually, I can't believe how jarring some people are about this. I really don't understand.
Well, people are evil out
I
there.
don't, because here's the thing, I've had like similar like messages just in general when I watch a tournament run. Like, if I have like no true investment in the two players playing, I'm not gonna have like an insane emotional reaction.
Yeah.
That's just how it is, right? Like that happened recently. I think Arslan won a tournament, and because I didn't beam smiling, they're like, "You hate Arslan."
You're a hater. You're
I'm
evil.
like, I don't know. I think I have a resting bitch face as well. I guess I think that plays a part. But like, yeah, honestly, I just can't believe. Because I remember because I've seen the comment section for the video, and I was seeing people like his expression when PhiDX won, he must clearly hate him. And I was just like, I watched it back. The only face I made was when you started slapping the fucking floor. Because I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? But like, yeah, I think it was great. It was hype. Arslan's always the favorite, so it's always nice to see the underdog win. But like, yeah, I just wasn't truly surprised, I guess, because I was like, you're a strong player. Arslan has close games. He can't always win those close games forever. Eventually it's gonna happen. But like, yeah, that one really blew out of control. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
No, and I remember at the start of the video, I said, we're all homies, you know, no hate, and people did not care.
I think as well, I think at the start of the video, one of the first things that I said was, I hate the way PhiDX plays because he thinks too much, or something like that. He's an overthinker, just play the game.
It's a crucial part of the detail.
It was something like that, and I think people took that to mean, I hate you. Yeah. When it's like, that's just how I talk about people like that play the game. And I guess also it's not my audience as well. So people who know me would expect, okay, that's just how he talks. Yeah. So I think it was like, you know, my audience had left the discussion, and like some people, that might be their first time hearing me speak. Like, damn, this guy's a bit of an arsehole. It's like, I talk like one, yeah. It was a great run. I think I congratulated you on it as well.
You did, yeah.
And when this is the camera didn't pick up at Gamers 8.
That's what I was upset about.
At Gamers 8, when I beat Arslan, I slapped the floor as well, and it didn't show that. But like, yeah, that was an ordeal.
Yeah. I'm sorry for instigating that. Especially, I was so naive. I genuinely thought if I said at the beginning, hey, don't hate, we're cool, that people would see that. But yeah,
no,
so
I think as well, I think I'm a very sarcastic British person, and people don't like that. Yeah. So I think any chance people have to hate, they're going to take it.
You know, we're soft Americans. But no, I thought it was funny, especially like your reaction to how I played against Ryef was my reaction. I was like, I can't believe I sprinted.
Yeah. And I think you like rage art for getting hit by a down before. That was a terrible rage art, man. But like, yeah, that was something.
There was a sequence of completely scrubby events, and I remember in that moment being like, oh, I'm terrible for this. Like, so I feel you. But the record is straight, y'all. Last couple things. I think of all the competitors that I know, I feel that we are most closely aligned as people who take YouTube and streaming extremely seriously, while also taking competition completely seriously. How do you personally prioritize it? Like, what does it feel like to you, whether it's mentally or time? Like, how are you dividing content creation versus competing?
Well, it's always been a bit of it's been hard, because for me, especially if I take long breaks away, I'm like, I never want the content to suffer. But sometimes it just, I don't know, like, it's hard for me, especially like, because I also like I don't have my laptop available to me right now, and that's why I used to like make content, at least while I'm away. At least if I edit the video, I can do thumbnails while I'm away. But like, I've not had that really readily available to me. It's definitely been tough keeping the balance. I need to be more on top with my editor as well, just so I have stuff ready to go when I'm away. But obviously, recently being signed to NIP, competition is now very much taken the forefront for me.
Yeah, I see.
But before I tried to do as much as I could as a 50-50 split. Let me stream as much as I can, make content as much as I can. But like now that is, you know, because again, such a big org, they have expectations. I want to meet those expectations. And I think for me, it's also about proving a lot to myself, right? You know, like I started this year and ended Tekken 7 as a commentator. I commentated Tekken World Tour Finals. And, you know, I knew coming into this game, you know, I kind of had a choice to make, right? Like, do I start focusing more on the commentary side, which is the guaranteed safe pay and blah, 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 and the content side as well, make money with that? Or do I take the risk and continue to compete and focus on that? And I was like, first, month or two of this game, you know, the money I made from content creation, because when Tekken 8 came out, it was good for all of us, I guess. I was like, let me use this, travel as much as I could. Luckily, I was able to get the trip to Pakistan as well. That I didn't have to pay for that. Compete there, get that experience, and you know, traveled enough. NIP came along, which is good because I think if they didn't, I'd have to stop traveling for a bit.
Right.
But like, yeah, for me, it's like that's my focus now is competing. But you know, I wanna just, I don't know. I want to try and balance as much as I can. But I know if I have to make a choice, it's gonna come down to the competition.
Yeah.
And I think as well, I don't know, I think I look at the content you do as well and I see the effort and time put into it. It's like, I don't think I could split that focus. I don't know how you do it. That's my point. Actually, this interview now, this is my interview. How do you do it like that? How do you actually do it?
To respond first to what you're saying, I think from an outside perspective, I think your competitive results are so high that to me it makes sense to compete like that. I think that you are so consistent, even through the end of 7. So it makes sense to me. That's not a surprising answer to me. I think it's really cool. How do I do it? Well, my competition is usually sacrificed. I recognize that I'm luckily positioned to have this content opportunity and that Tekken 8 will be here a long time and my character is gone and the game style doesn't favor me. So for me, it makes way more sense to focus on content. I also feel like the past couple months, I like mentally slipped from that conviction. I was like, I'm tired of losing, you know? And that's part of the reason Lily makes me, I don't like playing Lily as much because when I lose on her, I'm like, this character is so busted, I can't believe I'm losing on this character. So there is this competitive side that is always hungry and angry. But for me, it's always just content first. Mm-hmm. That's like the biggest thing. It wasn't until the past few weeks where I'll like not turn on the stream and practice like off stream or like not put up a video because I really feel like grinding that day. And yeah, it does feel like a constant give and take, but I feel like because I've had these like starshine moments more than like a consistent track record of high placements, it just made more sense to me to play this perpetual underdog role. Yeah. Be like, I'm gonna entertain. Wow, aren't we all surprised I got like a decent win? Like that was cool. So that made a lot of sense to me to like constantly do what I happen to be positioned to do right now. And then I think down the road, competition can get more serious, especially as the like my work with editors gets more automated, stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's mostly content.
Yeah. So you hear that? The answer is sacrifice.
Yes, it's hard. I appreciate your answers a lot. You talked about EU versus NA, talked about your goals, and asked me about mine. That was cool. Do you have anything you would want to say to, I guess, my audience, your audience? Like, I appreciate you being here and talking about all these things.
Well, thank you for having me, first and foremost. Lovely being here. I don't hate PhiDX. that's what I'd like to say.
We debated doubling down on beef to drum up more or whatever.
These would be crazy on both sides, but you know, I can't live any more fake beef, man. I can't do it.
I appreciate you, K.
Anytime.
Yes.